Hello, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for a Wichita Postcard of the Week. This week I wanted to take you back to the time of World War II and what was happening here in Wichita. Wichita, even at that stage, had aircraft factories, Boeing, Beech, Cessna, and we'd been bombed at Pearl Harbor and a lot of activity going on nationwide and in Wichita also. But to build more planes with all of this aircraft facilities here, we also had to provide housing for all of these people that would be coming. New jobs, new people coming to town from all of the surrounding states and area. And so people came, and the housing situation was alleviated when they started building three different areas here in southeast Wichita to house people. One was called Beechwood, just to the west of Beech Aircraft Company on East Central, and that today is that whole area. The housing is no longer there, but it's kind of it is where the Pizza Hut national headquarters was for a number of years. Today it's called the Ruffin Building, but you get an idea of where that was located. Another area was the Hilltop Manor area on East Harry Street, and also bordered by Oliver and Bluffview. And the third area was Plainview, a little bit further south of Pawnee, and between George Washington Boulevard and Hillside Avenue. So those three housed several thousand people. And so they had to have places for not only the men and women coming to work. Some of these were Rosie the Riveters, we know that too, but then also their children. And then you have children and you have to provide schools. Just one thing happened after another that made all of this grow in terms of giving services and things to new workers here who have come to Wichita. Think about the grocery stores, think about the barber shops, the post offices, drug stores. All of these kinds of things had to be added to this for this time period here in Wichita. Now the card that I wanted to show today is what we call a bird's eye view. And we can't stand on a tall building or look out of a tower or something. This picture was undoubtedly taken from a window of an airplane flying over this area. And at the top, you were kind of pointed toward the southwest part of town. And at the top of the picture, you see Harry Street. And to the top right, you see the word Clifton Avenue. Clifton Avenue is the first North and South Street east of Hillside Avenue. So here we are at Hillside and Harry, very close, within walking distance of where we have our annual Wichita Postcard Club show at the All Saints Catholic School. In this area today, in this picture, it's where the St. Joseph Via Christi Hospital and all of that area is located. So it kind of gives you an idea of where we are. Along Harry Street in this picture, you can see there's very little occupation or residential area. There's no gas stations or banks or flower shops. All of this was to be developed many, many years later. But here we are in the early 1940s, 42, 43. And what we're advertising with this postcard is the Meadowlark Trailer Park. And that's more in the foreground, and we see that the entryway to the trailer park, now we're talking about house trailers, And so the entry to this park was off of Bluff View here in the lower left. And then at the top right, there's also a meandering road coming in off of Clifton Avenue. So there are two basic parks, or I call them parks, but trailer parks that are kind of combined in this area. And they each had a little community building. And within those, then facilities. So you would bring your trailer in, and it may have been metal, it may have been fiberboard, lots of different kinds of methods of construction during that time period, but it was a roof over your head. And you came to Wichita, you got a job at the aircraft factory, maybe you may do with a little bit less for the time being because there were no houses available, but they were building Hilltop Manor just across the street, fast and furious, so there was a good chance that there would be something there within a few months. But you bought a trailer or came in and made some kind of arrangements with a trailer house, came to this area, and this gave you a community there with other similar owners, a place for your kids to, they had a playground and so forth. Let me just read some of the attributes that they talk about on the back of the postcard. It says that they're on 2 bus lines. City buses provided public transportation, probably off of Bluffview, probably off of Harry Street, so within easy walking distance. And that those bus lines took people to the aircraft plants. They had enormous facilities like there at Boeing Street. I can remember going by there in the 50s with my dad driving and seeing all of these trellises and everything. People could pour out of those aircraft facilities, production facilities, into buses and leave and come, and so we had the transition. They were working 24-hour shifts then, 3 8-hour days. So lots of activity, lots of people, lots of movement and so forth. On the at this trailer house place, they had spaces for 120 large spaces for trailers. There was 2 utility buildings, and within these buildings, it gets to be a little personal, but listen to this. They offered 16 toilets, 16 showers, 2 adult baths, 2 baby baths, sewer, water, underground electrical connections, and automatic laundries. They had a playground for children, and it said, "They are welcome." Well, that was good. We know there in the Plainview area, it was the largest of these 3 housing areas, and they ended up having schools, even a high school down there in Plainview, with yearbooks and, the sports teams and all of that. But this is a wonderful documentary postcard showing this time period. It only lasted a few years, but showing something that was new, and people could send it to their loved ones back home and say, this is where we're staying now, and we're here in Wichita, and we have a good job, and we're working to fight the Axis. So in any case, that's my story for the week, and thanks very much for being here, and we'll hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.